Hello, fellow watchers and enjoyers. Ash and Piggy here from Watching Walford bring you yet another edition of Watching Walford. Will we ever change the name so it doesn't sound redundant? Probably not. It's episode number 33, and today's episodes are going to cover the biggest storylines from this previous week of EastEnders, all of the episodes from the 14th of August 2023, all the way to the 17th. Now, Piggy, do you want to hear the storylines?
Yes, and then we can finally ask how we are doing.
Yeah, the most important part. So, the storylines that we're going to be covering are a possible love triangle between Bobby, Freddie, and Anna. Honestly, if Bobby and Freddie get together, you know, Anna can just, like, sit outside in fucking rain. You know, I'm good.
I better see that. I better see that lead on RedTube.
Something is wrong with Suki Panasa. She seems to, you know, she's getting a bit dizzy every now and then. Having some issues. I don't know how much has actually been announced, but I swear I read something somewhere about some, like, poisoning. So is Vinny or Nish poisoning Suki to have a bit more control? I would love to say we have the answer, but not in this episode.
It's a fucking Disney show, like. I'll poison you, love, so you can stay with me.
Yeah.
I mean, to steal from Talking Walford, that would be a great way to get Nish out of the picture. It's just he's been poisoning me.
Yeah. The next storyline, Eve's past comes back to haunt her. A mystery woman starts and shows a bit of interest in Eve. She seems to know who she is, and they arrange to have a date. But on this date, they realise that, well, this is a face from... she's the fucker! What do you mean she's not gay? And she is a face from Eve's past that, honestly, she wished she probably would have never have seen ever again. Who is that, though? Well, you know, gotta stretch it out. Come on, gotta leave something to be teased over. And finally, the biggest storyline of the 33rd week. 2023, that being Alfie's cancer diagnosis. So, a bit of fun, bit of spice, bit of gay, and a bit of fucking tragedy. Everything and more on this episode of Watching Walford. But, before we continue, how the hell are you doing, Piggy?
Just shout out, hopefully the video might be linked in the description. Everyone, please go check out. And I'm not sucking them off. I'm joining Ash in sucking them off. I'm fondling the shack. He's you know, the shack all the way down his throat. I'm just there tickling it. Please go check out Talking Walford, new video about who he thinks dies for Christmas. And Ash already told me who he thought, because Talking Walford and Watching Walford we are friends. I'm not friends with him, Ash is. And Ash was just like, yeah, Piggy, so Talking Walford just randomly told me like who he thinks dies at Christmas. I was told, and I genuinely forgot. And then I was watching the video and I was like, so this is why Ash has been banging on about why this person dies at Christmas.
Yeah. It's going to be really difficult if we do have to talk about who dies at Christmas again. It's going to be really difficult to not just rabbit on about what was said in the video. Because, honestly, it's like Talking Walford's a fucking detective. It's like, well, actually, we know how, like, Piggy, you know when we initially made you do the notes, and you'd always joke that I was like, yeah, well, make sure to note down that 3 minutes passed, Nish swept his feet across the table, you know, But Talking Walford does that. Connects that little fucking red tape across and somehow comes up with absolute gold. So, yeah. Go ahead and watch the video talking about who Talking Walford believes dies at Christmas and why it's a plausible conclusion. Spoiler alert. I'm not going to spoil it, because fuck you. But yeah, point being, go ahead and watch Talking Walford's video. Talking about who dies at Christmas. Yeah. Other than that, Piggy, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, and now this might not come across on people's videos, but if it does, I just want to let you know that Ash's Wi-Fi is not laying down for him, brother. He's putting in a fight, the old network is. So, if you're wondering why suddenly we were talking about I don't know, does Stacey have good jugs? And then suddenly we're on about fucking Eve's hairdo. It's just all of a sudden. Just be wary that it's Ash's internet. And we can't just go, oh yeah, so Stacey has lovely jugs, and then instantly the internet goes and then we go back to it. We won't be able to do that because our memories are like fish. Like I can remember certain things, and he can as well. But that's it. So how have you been?
Yeah, it's alright, I guess. Slightly frustrating, obviously, internet problems. It's always the problems that are completely out of your control. It's not like I can just, like, fucking climb up a fucking tower and just smack a box, and suddenly the internet's working again. But yeah, it's been another one of the weeks. Can't tell you if it's been good or bad or not, I'll be honest. But it's been another one of them. Currently, and I'll say this very loosely, I'm not going to give out any details, but currently archiving some EastEnders episodes.
And hold on here. For you fuckers that are like, give us the link, fuck off.
Yeah,
no.
I am very quickly snatching up all of the episodes that I can grab, simply because the last time I had an archive for all of EastEnders, that being Brookside, well, everybody just didn't shut the fuck up about it, so, and oh, surprise, now it's gone. So, I'm leaving this little chestnut, it's our little secret. But hopefully it allows us the ability to jump between years, you know, maybe cover a specific storyline, and allow us to be a little more like have a little bit more choice in like the stuff we can make. Because, you know, let's say we want to cover like Max Branning's like entrance, you know. Now, I don't know if that specific period's on there, but you know, as a whole, we have much more chance of being able to do it now than we would before. So,
I have been good, by the way. I've got to say how I was doing. I am sending off 20 quid because I don't have a computer. I'm buying a portable DVD player, but I need a place to watch all the classic EastEnders. So I'm sending them my porn drive. Just get rid of all the porn I want. Whoopsie. It's not even a drive, it's an external, it's a fucking brick of a thing.
yeah.
It's not even a hard drive, an external drive, I believe. It's 1 terabyte. Yeah. I bought it. For people who want to know, why do you go 1 terabyte hard drive? I wanted to, so on my laptop I had for school, I wanted to have all my tape. I wanted to have all like old games on my hard drive, so I could just play them on the hard drive, and they wouldn't. So like so I could still save documents and be able to play games. But that didn't last long. So I just had this brick since about 2020, and probably what's on it in reality is a bunch of school stuff.
Yeah.
Which Ash will probably delete, or he'll save to his own device, and then when I come over next year, he was like, look, Piggy, look what I found on your hard drive, and it's like a picture of my cock and balls, and he's like, so small, isn't it? And I'm like, average, okay. One inch is average, isn't it? But yeah, I've been doing good. It's been funny because I was telling Ash off camera. Of course, for people who know, we are two people with mental health issues. Ash has autism and depression, I think.
Big old dose of autism, depression, and anxiety.
Yeah. And I hear voices in my head. I'm not Randy Orton. And basically, so I have to go to meetings. Basically, there was this occupational therapist, I know he's a terrorist, who basically had to interview me. So when I eventually move out, I have to go to her for a few weeks to get tips on how to move, how to manage living with someone or living by myself. And basically it was just so awkward because I was sat there and she's like, so what's your interest? And my dad goes, yeah, he does a podcast with Ash. And she goes, who's Ash? And she's like, my friend. He's like family. He's like family to me. And it's like, so what's your podcast on? EastEnders. EastEnders. How many subscribers do you have? 113. Just
not counting or anything.
just fucking sat there like, yeah. I was a good friend. I do, yeah. Go to Brennan's Hardware there. Go to Brennan's Hardware in Kilcullen. Yeah, please. You want to buy hardware? That is a joke from the horror watch along we also recorded before Ash's internet decided to go bust. So
exactly.
There is. So for people who want horror content, go to EastEnders. So easily entertained again. Before Ash's internet decided not to lay down for him again. Easily entertained is where we'll be doing a series where two horror nerds and one innocent virgin review horror films. Well, do watch-alongs of horror films. Obviously, what's the film you want me to see? Suburban film?
No. You don't need to watch Serbian film. It's bad.
I was talking to Slater last night because at the time of recording this, AEW was Dynamite was on, and these players were calling, and then Slater was like, I was like, so what happens in Serbian film? And he was like, oh yeah, this guy just fucks his son who's dead. And yep, thanks.
In a video game in Minecraft.
Wow.
It's a very, very questionable film.
But yeah, it's like it's almost like do you remember then leakxx.com or something where they basically show people getting massacred?
What, live leaks?
Live leaks, yeah.
I mean, it's an actual film. It just tackles a lot of very strong sexual taboos. A lot of which are very disturbing.
Yep.
Let's not talk about Serbian film anymore than we need to.
Also, I don't know if Ash will pull an image up, but I hope he does. My local McDonald's went on fire. I will basically explain to anyone, and for people, I can say this town because no one is going to know where the hell this is, unless you like. It's because it's a big town. But basically, McDonald's in Kildare, the one before, one of the McDonald's in Kildare where I live, and basically there was an old lady in a car, and her car started leaking, a man came out of the car and went, look, love, get out of the car, it's gonna blow. So she was trying to get a coffee, and then her car just exploded, it just kind of busted and went on fire.
There we go, picture on the screen.
So everyone had to reverse out and then so they all had to reverse out, and of course all the employees had to run out. But if that was me, I'd be like, guys, hold on a minute, I'd get my fucking stuff. I don't care how bad this fire is.
Lads, is the Big Mac done? Please. Please, lads.
Yeah, I'd be like like if you're a working staff and you have to get like you can't get your phone. I'd be like, lads, I need to get my phone. I need it. But yeah, so yeah, basically the whole building, like it first started at the kitchen, and then my auntie obviously goes, why did it go up in flames so fast? My dad just looks at her and goes, well, what's in McDonald's? She goes, grease. And my dad goes, exactly. So basically the grease helped the fire, and it just completely burned it. Like, it no longer says McDonald's, it says McDonald's. Like, it's
That sounds like the most
burned.
Irish McDonald's ever.
The Irish McDonald's is Supermax, which is lovely.
True.
So yeah, my local McDonald's just went in flames. You can actually see me in a video of me just standing with my tie cap on, just looking at the fire. I thought I was going to get a huge EastEnders explosion, where the gas cylinders blow up as well.
Yeah.
And you have this dramatic someone jumping out the front door, even though you can't really jump out of it because it's sliding doors, like the automatic sliding doors. But I've loved it. Obviously, the Irish people love making light-hearted comments about it. I said, if this was in Belfast, it'd be a regular Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I remember there was just these two owl lads, and one of the owl lads goes to the other, if you want a McCrispy, they're well done by now. And then this lad, when I was going into Tesco's, goes up to the Garda, who's the police in Ireland. We just have a different name for them. And he just goes, so when can I get a Big Mac? And man just replies, in about 2 weeks. It'll be open in 2 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, that happened. It's not nice witnessing a fire, because the smell was just horrible. It's like bonfire night, but you're literally seeing a building burn down.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'd love to go inside and have a look around. Like, I'd love that. I know they won't do it for health and safety reasons, but could you imagine just going around and abandoned McDonald's and Freddy Fazbear comes out of nowhere?
Oh mate, honestly, those like going around abandoned like places. Like, it sounds fun when you see a video of someone else doing it, but like, if I was doing it, I'd be fucking shitting myself.
It's like is it No Element House Party with the Mr. Blobby house, where it's just all abandoned?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so creepy, being in his house, Blobby's house, and then just a random Mr. Blobby shows up. If someone in the UK is a game designer, I am pitching to you, if you're watching this, a game. I know you can't legally use Mr. Blobby, so call him Mr. Flobby or something. But I want a game where Mr. Blobby tries to kill you, or Mr. Flobby. He tries to kill you. He's just this massive, tall banker and tries to kill you. Love it. So if anyone can do that, that would be great. But I love abandoned places. When I go to abandoned places, definitely. But it's just like, I don't know why they're so secure. Like, I understand, again, health and safety, but I just want to see it. I just want to roam around it, like, because it just seems fun until your friend like starts moving objects around. Like, is that a ghost or is that actually happening? I also want to quickly, I will link this video to Ash, to hopefully put it in. This guy got a lot of flack for using Fred, Daphne, and Velma's AI voices. But everyone go check out Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? in Springtrap. It's this by Egan Tillman. I think that's how you pronounce it. It is basically Scooby-Doo. Oh no, I dislike the video. It's basically Scooby-Doo goes to visit an abandoned Freddy Fazbear pizza, and it's so light-hearted. It's something out of 1960s Scooby-Doo. So yeah, check it out. Anything else you want to add?
No, that's a lot of introduction. So let's get into the storylines. That being the first one, I believe, is a possible love triangle between Bobby, Freddie, and Anna. There's a love triangle possibly developing between Bobby, Freddie, and Anna, or at least Bobby seems to think so. Essentially, and I will just say a lot of these topics will be fairly shorter in today's episode because fundamentally dealing with a lot of internet issues is absolutely frustrating to no end. But to concisely say, essentially, Bobby doesn't. Basically, it feels like Anna and Freddie are a bit more of a fit, but I feel like the difference is that Anna and Freddie both have like their current troubles with like their parents, which they're both relating to on like a whole other level, whereas Bobby's just like nice and like a distraction and like has fun with people, but hasn't really like, you know, it like obviously Freddie recently found his dad, and Anna is kind of desperately searching for Rose. So yeah, there we are. That's Bobby tries to like impress her by doing some fancy shit. He wears a weird shirt. He uses a toothpick. Like it all goes wrong, as Bobby's a bit of a tool.
Something I want to add, because this probably also be Barney's 21st birthday party. So the song that was playing in the background while he was drinking on his orange juice, and Freddie, I said Freddie Fazbear. While Freddie was talking to him, was Mambo Number 5 was playing. Not the Bob the Builder version or the Michael Rosen version, but it was just the regular, or the Disney version. It was just the regular Mambo Number 5. It was
the best version.
Oh no, the Michael Rosen rap one is brilliant to me. He's giving you all the Michael Rosen rap. Can we please get Michael Rosen on this podcast?
No.
Well, he just seems like a lovely man. Alright then.
Oh, I thought they were actually going to fucking carry on with talking about EastEnders, not Michael.
Oh, I thought your internet disconnected. I had no idea, sorry.
No.
It was also nice to see Bobby get more screen time.
True. I mean, to be fair, he is gonna get the most screen time he ever like has over the next like couple of months.
Yes.
Bobby's been holding the fort for the Beals for like the last. It's him and Kathy pretty much for like the last. God, when was Bobby reintroduced? I think it was around 2019 when he was reintroduced. Yeah. So he's been holding the fort for the Beals for the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty wild. But yeah, it's a fun little. It's quite light. It's quite light fun because obviously, I don't think anybody would be surprised to say that Anna and Freddie are probably more of like an actual fit. Like they're both a lot more similar, like characteristics wise, than Anna and Bobby. But you know, Anna and Bobby are gonna get together eventually, and that'll be fun.
I was watching it with my dad this morning before my meeting, and he just lost it at Freddie, not Freddie, at Bobby with his toothpick. So yeah, it was a fun batch of episodes, but there's not really much we can say on this topic because spoiler alert, and sorry if you wanted your virgin ears to be covered, but Bobby will get more love next week and the week after, So settle your little Hershey's. He will get loved, just not now.
Yeah, grow up. It's yeah, honestly, like it's a very, very small little story, but obviously, Bobby B he's one of my more favoured characters in general. So, although I was struggling when he was like walking over this toothpick, I'm just like, no, Bobby, no, why, stop it, just be yourself, man. But there we are. Let's segue this into the next topic. Being sorry.
Sorry, the one thing I want to add is I understand it would only pop me, I knew, but I would have loved if he started doing the Scott Hall. You know, where Scott Hall would do where you put his arms together and like pull them out.
Yeah.
I'd love if he did that and went, hey yo.
Starts doing the pose. Yeah. Walks out with the arms.
He starts going, you want a war? Well, you've got one. And then Freddy's like big, sexy Kevin Nash. She's like, play? We're not here to play. Look at the adjective.
I suppose it was also just fun to see the Bobby and Freddy like friendship just meaning more than anything else, because usually in this situation, like usually they just snake each other. Obviously, not in the situation where I'm like, Anna's a possession, you know. In this situation, usually in EastEnders, usually just one of the mates goes, bloody hell, she just likes me more. And then the other one has to kind of sit there licking his wounds. When it turns out that the person who's not with them is actually the one who's meant for them. Is Bobby meant to be with Anna? It feels like it, but it's also quite hard to pinpoint. I look forward to seeing it develop a bit more, and I look forward to having it be on the screen a little bit more as well. There we are. Any other thoughts, Piggy?
No, let's get into the next topic.
Which is, something is wrong with Suki. Something is wrong with Suki Panesar. She is dizzy, she is not fainting, but kind of like stumbling around. And it's a bit of... something's off. I don't know if it's been announced anywhere else, but I have heard rumblings of there being some sort of like poisoning going on, where I could easily see Vinny like just kind of poisoning Suki slightly. So, you know, she's a bit like weaker, she's a bit more frail, she's not really like able to deal with things as she would. So, you know, just kind of exerting that other bit of control. And it also feels like something that Nish would definitely do. The most we really get out of this as well, it's another fairly small storyline, and stories that were fairly top heavy, is we just get to see her and Eve actually like kind of stop and talk a little bit more, and Eve, like, the second Suki falls, Eve is like trying to like walk her through it and like trying to help her out a lot more. So yeah, that was something's wrong with Suki. What is it, Piggy?
Her gay is going. Her gay down. Because once you unbecome a lesbian, bisexual, gay or trans, your gaydar goes. So her gaydar's going. But in all seriousness, I feel like Finny's poisoning her because Finny is a little bitch and he wants his mummy, his daddy to tell along, even though he should open his eyes and realise that mummy and daddy cannot get along because Nish is a bit abusive.
Quite
only a sprinkle. And Suki clearly does not want this. She's clearly just stuck here because she's being forced to. Like, it's like when your friend goes to meet another friend with you.
Yeah.
You're awkwardly stuck there like, he's the best fucking person I know. No one's fucking better than him. And you're my best friend. And he's the best fucking jagger I know, lads. You're like, okay. I guess I'll just sit in the corner and be belittled. And then awkwardly, at 3 a.m. they're like, we need a lift home. Okay, I'll drive you home. But yeah, funny story about crosslights. So it was my grand. Alright, this is going off topic, but there was a story between my granddad, on my father's side, his son, so my dad's brother. I think my dad's other brother was in the car, and it was two other gentlemen, and this guy was fairly drunk, but he was driving his car. So my granddad's in the car, and my uncle's in the car, and another guy's in the car who's related to us, but I don't know how. And basically, they come to this crossroads, and he forgot to turn his fog lights on, so he just drives straight through the crossroads in complete pitch and black. So they nearly died, is what I'm saying.
Jesus Christ.
And this man was like cut, like he was drunk. Where else but Ireland in the 90s?
Yeah, true. Also, I think I just quickly realised what it's actually about. It's seemingly, from what I read, it's seemingly just about Sookie just dealing a lot with anxiety, because she's obviously fairly low, because, well, she's in a fucking loveless marriage, and she wants to be with Eve, but is currently being pretty much blackmailed by her son to try stick with it, even though the last thing she could ever do is actually love Nish, because he's such a disgusting, vile piece of shit. Well, we saw this in a scene with Denise, which was interesting. You know, I'm expecting. Well, basically, it's around the time where a lot of the Walford, a lot of the like 6 in the Christmas flash forward, it feels like a lot of them are gonna be suddenly getting a little bit closer now. Like, hey, like Kathy and Sookie kind of made friends like last week or the week before with a poker game. Sookie and Denise now chatting as Sookie kind of realised how anxious and stressed he was due to Nish and Vinny. Like, we will slowly start to see these characters just interact a whole lot more and more. And it's kind of fun. But yeah, seemingly she's dealing with a lot of anxiety as she's simply in a situation she doesn't want to be in. And well, when that's happening, the body decides, you know what, I'm good. I really don't want to be here. But yeah, there we are. It's my takes, my thoughts.
My thoughts are she's in a loveless marriage that she wants to get out but can't. And I feel like she might be poisoned. Which
I have no idea where I actually saw the poisoning angle from, I'll be honest.
Like, I just want to go along with it.
I have absolutely no idea whether it was something I read that was legit or something I read that was just complete nonsense. I would check it, but obviously my internet's being a massive ball ache, so honestly, there's no real time for this. Oh, and Nish returned this week. He was seemingly off doing some business somewhere else. Yeah. There we go. I don't really think I have much else to say. Let me just check the Sookie Reddit. Stress-induced alopecia. I think she's being poisoned. Vinny's acting off. And someone suggesting that could also be a menopause storyline.
Oh.
Because, you know, it's a storyline that's never really been mentioned, and obviously, you know, going through menopause, that ain't fucking easy. You know, like stress, like hot flushes, you can't sleep, deal with heart palpitations. I'm reading all this, you know, I can't exactly act as if I can't exactly act if I have any dealings with menopause as a whole, but you know, it's one of those things where it's talked down a lot, but like the effects can be pretty fucking rough. Like someone can be going around their normal shit, but then suddenly, like your hormones are off. You know, now you can't sleep. Now you're more anxious. Now, you know, it can throw a lot of stuff off. But do I think it's a menopause story? I don't think so. I feel like it does have to be something tied to Vinny or Nish. Because it feels like, well, it just feels like we're heading to a big explosive exit at like in October or something. And basically, my current idea is I think Nish will find out that this could be complete bollocks. But there's a chance that, let's say Vinny has been poisoning Sookie. And let's go from there. And then suggest that perhaps Nish finds out and just murders Vinny for doing such a horrible thing to his mum. But yeah, so maybe, just maybe, Vinny is killed by Nish, sent back to prison, but in some like twisted, complex way, it's actually, well, it's the idea that like Nish loves Sookie to such an extent that he would do horrific shit. And I think in some sort of like twisted justice way, maybe there's a chance that he actually like kind of takes out Vinny instead because Vinny's like wronging Sookie. I don't know. I honestly, at this point, since I no longer believe that it's going to be the Christmas exit, I don't fucking know how Nish leaves the show. I just know that he isn't making it to Christmas. What do you reckon, Piggy?
I'd love to get into my theory when we talk about Eve. I would get into my theory. So we'll hold that. We will hold that.
All right. Yeah, so straight into that storyline. That is Eve's past coming back to haunt her. So, a face from Eve's past has appeared on the show. A woman who initially goes by, I don't know, like some Amanda, I think, some made-up name. She appears suddenly and essentially goes, "Hey, we should talk." And then she'd slowly... Eventually, it turns out she's not gay, she's not interested in Eve, and she was actually dropped behind the wheel in the crash that killed Eve's twin sister. What's her name? Erica, I think.
I think it was Erica.
And obviously this, confront this. From what we can tell from how Eve's dealing with it, is that Eve has never necessarily dealt with the grief of losing her twin sister, because as we learn, parents weren't interested in her afterwards and just kind of gave up on her, and so the twin was like the one true connection. And she says how she never felt lonely until that night where her sister was murdered by a drunk driver, and she didn't swerve. So it's an example of Eve's now on self-destruct, and it's going to be difficult to deal with this because she's in self-destruct mode. She doesn't really have anyone right now. She has Stacy, but obviously she's just lashing out, so it's hard to tell how it'll go, and it's just a big it's just a very stressful time for Eve, and we'll get to see the real effects. And one of the biggest, I'd argue that Eve losing her sister in that way is probably one of the most influential bits of trauma for the character, and I look forward to seeing how Heather Pierce Peace, whatever her name is. The actress like tackles a very serious storyline that is going to really go into the depths of trauma and losing a twin, losing a loved one. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it shapes up as a whole. I think ultimately, depending on how much Eve's, like, how much this woman stays, like Kaz, how much she actually stays, which I don't know how much it'll be. I kind of wonder if it'll kind of mirror the Katie storyline with Mick, where it starts to just completely haunt them. I think it'll be really interesting to see how they tackle this, whether the actress will be able to stick around or not, and the effects. Obviously, we see in like some spoiler images that what the fuck's his name? Theo is kind of meddling and wants Eve gone. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how they deal with this. Obviously, I think this is the inevitable that Eve and Sookie eventually get back together, as Eve will find herself having nothing and no one, and Sookie will welcome her in with open arms, and this will escalate the Panasar storyline and escalate for Eve, and they're going to be bound together again, and it'll all kind of be revealed. But yeah, that's kind of those are all my thoughts about the Eve stuff. I suppose just to keep Piggy in the loop, I essentially said that it would be interesting to see if this character stays around and kind of helps Eve deal with the grief. I don't think they will. I don't think it'll be very friendly. I think, like, as we've seen in some spoiler images, Theo gets involved and starts trying to get Eve done in. But I do believe that this will inevitably lead to the Sookie and Eve back together, as Eve will hit self-destruct and then Sookie will kind of like pull her back together. What do you reckon, Piggy?
My theory is, and if you want to believe this, you can. But I think Eve gets her own place, and I believe that Finney tries to set her new place on fire, and one of them doesn't escape.
Oh, fancy. Yeah,
I basically
interesting. Stole that from the spoilers.
Yeah, still.
Yeah, idea. But I mean, it's I mean, hey, the spoilers aren't real, so you know. Yeah, that could also happen.
Sorry, I was I got distracted for a minute because when your internet shut out, brother. You know, I wanted to check Instagram comments. I'm sorry I'm going on a tangent, but I wanted to check Instagram comments because there's a video circling around where CM Punk basically says, if you're in a place and you need help, get help. So I don't check the comments, maybe they're all positive. No, get off antidepressants, take less caffeine, pray to Lord. I'm like, you do realise praying to Lord is not gonna fuck.
I'd say it's definitely a method. But yeah, I suppose it's also it's a good storyline to have, because we get to see Eve actually have some backstory. You know, a lot of the trauma will likely stem from this, losing a twin, which, you know, not many people can really kind of not many people can like sympathize with. Not many people know how it feels to lose a twin. So yeah, it would be but I do think this leads to the inevitable Sookie and Eve get back together. I do also kind of believe that Vinny will try like just kill Eve, but won't end up like surviving. And I don't know what happens to Nish. Maybe they pin it on Nish somehow, and then maybe he's sent to jail. There we are. That's the thoughts on the Face from Eve's past. And now into the final topic, hopefully it all goes smoothly, as we talk about Alfie's cancer diagnosis. So, after a couple episodes of deliberating, Alfie's had a fucking busy week, hasn't he, Piggy?
He has.
He starts off the week by having to have the kids, but essentially he learns that Tommy was the one who told Freddie about Graham Foster, which leads to a bit of a confrontation. Tommy starts drinking with his little fucking, 12-year-old fucking dickheads, like hooligans. And then has like a bit of a confrontation. By the end of the episode, Tommy just punches Alfie square in the gut, which leads to and Phil sees this and goes like, Alfie, mate, are you okay? Like, if you're like doubling down in pain from this, maybe there is a problem here, like, And Alfie's like, I'll deal with it. But eventually Phil kind of makes him go to the doctors. And the doctor does just essentially say, alright, we've taken some tests. And it looks like you're showing a lot of symptoms of prostate cancer. And, it's a serious thing. Like, very fucking serious. And we don't know, like, how to... Essentially, and Alfie kind of goes into like shut down, I'm not gonna fucking think about it, I'm not gonna deal with it mode. And it takes till the end of the week for him to actually go, yeah, fuck, I might have prostate cancer, And we get a nice little weird dynamic between Phil and Alfie, who never really have a reason to get along. But obviously Phil's lost people to cancer. Alfie has struggled with cancer before. Like, it's a pretty wild fucking set of circumstances. How are you finding the Alfie cancer storyline, Biggie?
Because everybody believes. Sometimes. Yeah, Alfie, he's got cancer. Actually, not gonna kill him off, but we will see. Not much to say on this because I don't want people getting offended in the comments. Because I might say something that might upset people. So I'm just going to say Alfie Moon might have cancer. And hopefully he gets better. And Tommy didn't actually punch him in the stomach.
He did.
Oh my God. So yeah.
But yeah, I think obviously we talked about it in a video specifically, but which came out. I don't think it's out yet, but it will be out by the time this is released. Essentially saying that this is going to pave the way for a Christmas wedding that involves Alfie and Kat, rather than Kat and Phil. I think Kat will feel very betrayed over Phil not telling her about Alfie's cancer, and will then want to just deeply support him, and it'll uncork some like old feelings. And then obviously I feel like, I mean, this is also covered in the Talking Walford video, but then there's like, then Kat and, Sharon and Phil possibly get back together, and like, I think that Chris Clenshaw wants to kind of return the couples back to normal, and just actually write them properly, like Kat and Alfie back together properly, and Sharon and Phil back together properly, or properly, and balance will be restored. Does he die?
I don't want to say hopefully, but it would be nothing good, but it would definitely be a shock.
Yeah, like I feel like the actor could do really good work with it, but I really don't think this is where Alfie dies. Unless Shane Ritchie's just decided, you know what, I'm good, I'm done. But I feel like Shane Ritchie under like Chris Clenshaw kind of realizes that his bread is very well buttered, Like, Chris Clenshaw fucking loves Alfie Moon. And is... I'm not saying one of his favourite characters, but Chris Crenshaw fucking loves Alfie Moon, so I highly doubt he's gone. I wouldn't mind Cat and Alfie, like, leaving again, because obviously their initial exit in 2002 or 2005, I don't remember. Obviously, it was supposed to just be them swanning off in the sunset. Kat's had a fucking horrific life where she was abused by her Uncle Charlie, and, like, you know, it was horrific, but Alfie's, like, her little knight in shining armor. And, you know, they have that adorable wedding. And that was supposed to be it. That was supposed to be done. That was supposed to be Cat and Alfie over. But, you know, they've been brought back so many times that the water's a little bit muddied at this point. So, yeah. Could be a great way to give some space to two very classic EastEnders characters. Not that I want to see them gone, but quite like the, like, Whitney situation. Honestly, a bit of time apart would probably do the characters a lot more justice. Or at least that's my opinion. I don't know. You reckon Cat and Alfie should just leave?
Yeah, I think that would be good. We've got enough of Alfie, so I think it would be time to get a break from Alfie. So yeah.
Fair enough. And with that, that's all the storylines we're aiming to cover. Let's do a very quick final thoughts and a whoops. So there we are, Piggy. Finally, after what feels like an hour and a half, we're wrapping on a 50-minute fucking episode of Watching Walford. What did you think of the week of EastEnders?
Sorry, I'm gonna just say sorry that we skimmed over it a lot. Hopefully next week will be a lot easier.
Yeah.
But we couldn't deal with constantly.
I mean, it's just constant interruptions, right? So it's hard to get a real flow and like a succinct thing when it's like, having a comment, it's gone. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, now I have to wait like 5-10 minutes. Like, yeah, we do apologise, but we got to get the podcast out. It's the only real time I can do it this week, so unfortunately we're stuck with what you get. But I hope there was at least some interesting points raised and some more fun, like, reasoning and stuff. But yeah, your thoughts on the week?
It was an alright week. It wasn't the best week. It was in the middle, I would say. So yeah, it was an okay week. Yeah, that's my thoughts. It was an okay week.
Yeah, pretty much. This week's honestly been bolstered by watching the Talking Walford video, because it really did kind of reignite my wanting to, like, actually see what happens and thinking about who dies at Christmas. But as a week, it's nice to have it not dominated by Ben or, you know, but I do think it's exciting to be back at a, you know, we're preparing for like a, you know, the Beals are returning soon. You know, we are ramping up towards like the Christmas build. And yes, it is like, it's still like what, like fucking 4 months away. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Holy fucking hell. But yeah, it was alright. The awards, Piggy. Well, what, underrated?
Who's been underrated? Tommy.
I was gonna give Tommy the slapping down. I think honestly, for him being a young actor, they have started to give him some slightly more like heavy, slightly more like serious dialogue, and it's kind of wild because he's supposed to be 12, but you know, like he's supposed to be 12, but also Lily Slater's 12 as well. It's like, what the fuck is, like, the aging of all these teenagers is so strange. Like, It's like, I believe that Tommy's 12. I don't believe that Lily's 12. It's just fucking ridiculous stuff. Slapping down.
Who did you give your award to?
Oh, underrated. It's gonna be dumb, but it's the one week I'm gonna be able to say this. I'm gonna give it to Phil, because we got to see a slightly different side to the character this time. You know, got to see Phil actually be like, "Look, Alfie, I'm not your mate, but you have cancer. Like, I'm not gonna fucking leave you. Like, I'm not a fucking animal." So he got to be a bit more of the serious yet like sentimental side to Phil. The most wooden, the Steve Blackman Award. I've got one that I'm gonna steal just in case you steal it too. Bobby's toothpick is the most wooden of this week. Oh, the internet's gone. Fucking hell. Here we go again. Bobby's toothpick is the most wooden. Oh, and Piggy, time for your Steve Blackman Award. And I stole it immediately because I had to.
Well,
my recipient of the Steve Blackman Award is Bobby's toothpick.
Yeah, mine too.
I was like, I gotta steal it first, so I sound like I'm the funny one by having the idea.
Yeah, because you've an advantage. Because when this call breaks up, you've the advantage of still speaking to the viewers.
Exactly.
I don't have that advantage.
I mean, to be fair, you could record the podcast if you really wanted to.
I could, but I don't know how to.
Exactly. So none of that. Yet cheeky bastard. And the final award, that being the Who Needs Slapping Down. God, who needs slapping down? Don't even really know. I don't think anyone's been particularly offensive. Oh, the woman who fucking drunk drove and killed Eve's sister. She needs slapping down. Because she was driving drunk, and that's just not on. So there we are. Do you have anybody else other than Kaz?
Cancer.
True, cancer does need slapping down. And there we are, another edition of the Watching Walford podcast. Unfortunately, very fucking disjointed, but ultimately, what can you do? It's the one time slot we have to record this week, and ultimately the internet's not playing ball, so we had to make do. But I feel like it's better having both of us here in some level, like, rather than just having, like, say, me, who's frustrated and just wants the internet to fucking work, you know. So, you get what you get. Hopefully next week the issue should be sorted. Honestly, hopefully by the end of the fucking day the issue should be sorted. But the internet is but a fickle mistress. Do you have anything to shout out, Piggy, before we finish the episode?
No.
And there we are. That has been another edition Watching Walford. I have been Ash, and I've been joined by Piggy.
I do. Hello.
There we are. Do you want to do your normal outro?
Oh yeah, sorry. So we are currently on Twitter /X at Watching Walford. We are also on Twitch and Instagram at Watching Walford. Our Instagram and Twitter are dead /X are dead. But Ash uses Twitter to message Talking Walford while he sucks on his little knob, and I use Twitter to porn, which got to delete the history, Ash. I'm sorry. So if you see Food at Femboys on your Twitter feed, whoops. Whoops. Also, sorry again for the podcast being so weird. Hopefully next week it's fixed. Before I go to All In and get non-alcoholically pissed, There is a milkshake bar where I'm going to next week, where they do a gigantic milkshake for £9, and I'm fucking like, I'm like Shrek. I'm like, fill me up, baby, fill me fucking up. Give me that gigantic milkshake. There's also a Taco Bell which I might go to, so I want to try Taco Bell, but then I realised I would be on the bog all day Saturday, and I do not want that. Also, again, sorry for the podcast. Also, hope you enjoy some videos coming out. What videos do we have, Ash? Can I run them now?
Well, as of a couple of days ago, we had the Peter Beale is back and Ben Mitchell is the problem. Very clickbait, but ultimately was the bulk of the video, so it's not lying. We also previously have had a Alfie Moon prostate cancer video. That should have been a couple days ago. In terms of the next week, unsure of the schedule. We obviously have episode 3 or 4 of the Classic Podcast.
4.
Episode 4 of the Classic Podcast. We have what even is scheduled to go out in the next week?
You have a cheat, you look.
I'm trying to, but you know.
Want me to have it up?
Alright, we're here. Oh, that's not available. Sorry. Never mind. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. In the next week, we have a episode of the normal videos called Remember When Soaps Were Good? With once again a very clickbaity thumbnail because, hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. Ben Mitchell is the problem. I've been Ash from Watching Walford. And fuck off.
Again, say goodbye, Ash.
Bye-bye.
And again, if you like us and you want to enjoy us, again, just leave a comment. Tell us what you like. Tell us what we could change. Tell us that we are both gay and we should kiss. Then please don't do that.
Don't need advice to do that.
We'll just do it off camera anyway.
Exactly.
Just to tease you naughty boys.
Actually hold hands recording the podcast.
I was holding his cock, he was holding mine. His name's Chuckles, by the way. It's a rooster, if you didn't know. Don't you think he was touching my cock? No, he was touching me rooster. You leave my cock alone. You can only touch my rooster, Chuckles. What's your rooster called? Steve. Oh, what a name. But yeah, we were holding hands recording this. We would piss off camera. Oh Jesus, that was a fat one.
One of them bad boys.
That was a fat kiss.
That was a granny don't spend it all at once kiss.
Yes, you gives you a quid. Like,
don't spend it all at once.
But yeah, follow us. We're delicious. I stole that from some guy on TikTok from Ireland. And I will see you maybe in the next one. And also tune in to our videos on Cindy Beale's return from the 29th of August or the 28th of August till the 31st of August. So yeah.
Bye-bye.